Okay, first of all, it's Arges. That's with a soft G.
Schtolteheim, please.
My apologies. The Arges adventure.
Okay. All right, sorry. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us at RPG Limit Break. My name is... it's down in the layout there somewhere. Oh, right, yeah, my name is Schtolteheim. And this is Zwei, the Arges adventure. Right before we get away, we've got to settle a few incentives and bid wars. What am I naming my female character?
So the name for the female character will be Shelby, which won with $200.
Okay, is that spelled right?
Let's see. Yes, that is indeed correct.
And what will I name the male character?
The male character's name is going to be Ethan, with $150 to win that bid war.
Is that spelled correctly?
It is.
Okay. Will I be picking a cat or a dog?
We'll be going with the best animal, cat.
That is the correct answer. In my infinite wisdom, I forgot to set in a bid war for color, so which one do you want?
Brown.
This one?
Let's go with the one to the left.
That one?
Yeah, gotta go with the, looks like a calico. I can barely see the sprite.
A cool cat, you could say.
Cool cat.
And what will I be naming the cat?
And the cat's name will be Tittle.
Tiddle.
Yep, that is correct.
Okay. So with that, I am ready to go. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1.
Go. Good luck.
All right, so unfortunately, this is a bit of an awkward intro because all of the FMVs in this game are unskippable. Oh, well, except this one. So the first thing you want to learn about this game is that, oh my god, this is drop dead gorgeous. This game was made in 2001 by Falcom, the developers of Ys, Memories of Salsetta, which Kumo just played earlier for you guys. And despite being nearly 20 years old, it barely looks like it's aged a day. I'm kind of envious. So, right off the bat, everything here looks hand-drawn and all spick and span.
So you'll notice if you can hit the control button and text will advance like ridiculously fast. Like almost as fast as the last run, only it didn't take them 20 years to put that in.
Yeah, in contrast to Akuma, who was basically pulverizing the controller for the entirety of Memories of Salsetta, I just have to hold down control and text advances on the first possible frame.
Hey, you only have to hold right trigger on Salsetta. It's everything else that pulverizes the controller.
Well, I mean, yeah. There's a whole lot of Wario bashing to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately we've got some plot happening. That there is Masky McMaskface, and those are not my words, those are actually the game's. If that's not evidence to the weird localization this game had, I am not entirely sure what is. So immediately he has entered the shrine of this city in order to try to steal its magical MacGuffins. We're not entirely sure why, but he just nothing personnel the guard, and now it's personal. So we've got to go chase after him. One odd quirk about this game is that the fastest movement is diagonally against walls. That seems to be a common trait between a lot of Falcom games, although I'm not entirely sure.
That's a thing in Origin and to a lesser extent Fogana. I don't know about Nepishtim, but I believe as well for the East series.
Yeah, I would assume that since it's off the same engine, Nepishtim would have that quirk too.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure if Zwei the Ilverd Insurrection, which was the second Zwei game, I mean, Zwei means two in German.
Yeah, for the German viewers, I'm terribly sorry, but there is a game out there called 2-2.
Yeah, they localized it as Ilverd Insurrection, which is kind of an like they're both alliterations on the titles.
Yeah.
So the thing with the name is that you always play as two main characters in both Zwei games.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, you play as Pockle and Pipero, or Ethan and Shelby, as the names will be showing up.
So right off the bat, I've got to buy some items in order for the impending dungeoneering to go smoothly. I've got to buy a Power Stone, which boosts my attack, Push Mittens, which allow me to do puzzling, 4 Venture Wings, which act as my one-use-only teleportation items, and 1 Bomb. I'd like to think those are self-explanatory, but I have failed at much more simple concepts in the past. So this is the first area of the game, which is actually technically the second, Caiaphas Woods. We're not entirely supposed to go here this early, but we have a surprising amount of freedom in this run to go wherever we want, with some relative restrictions. But overall, we do a lot of finagling to do a lot of things out of order. I've got to be careful here because one of the most interesting mechanics of this game is that your main method of healing is food. And yet, food also acts as your only method of gaining experience points. So, when you eat food, you both gain your health back and you gain experience towards the next level. For example, if I open up my inventory, I can get a whole bunch of experience just by eating those Jello flans.
Getting a lot of Odin Sphere flashbacks.
Yeah, I've never actually played that, though. I'll need to get around to that.
Good game.
So I've been told. There are a lot of little mechanics in this game that just sort of coincide well together. For example, you just saw me do a charge attack, which I can perform by gaining a chain of 5 attacks without getting hit myself. Those act as my main method of dealing damage for most of the run, and I'll be abusing them heavily in some specific situations. Gonna do a quick safety save here because I don't trust this game. And frankly, I don't trust myself with this game.
Don't sell yourself short.
Oh, you would not even.
Nah, I've seen Captain run this game.
Yeah, the thing is, Captain runs this game on a controller, which is like 17 times harder than keyboard, so I'm not really one to talk here.
Yeah, so kind of just get a little bit of insight in the history of this run. This run wasn't a thing until like 7 or 8 months ago, and Schtolteheim here, we call him Schtolteheim, it's Schtolteheim.
I don't care what you call me.
Gratuitous German. It's a Suikoden reference, so shout out to the Suikoden run earlier.
Shout out to Zero.
Yeah. So this run wasn't really much of a thing until a few months ago. Schtolteheim here routed the game out, and our good pal Egil Captain, or Egil Captain, or as we just call him Captain, an Australian runner who started in Falcom Games with Trails in the Sky. He worked on this game pretty extensively with Schtolteheim, and we had a community showcase last September, back when this game was still pretty raw. That was about 3.5 hours, and now we're looking at times of this game can be done in about half that, and a lot of that has just come from continual routing, continual running the game, and just pushing it far really fast. So
Yeah, I feel really bad for this game knowing and watching that Egil Captain pretty much cleaved it in half with a sledgehammer.
how do you cleave something with a blunt weapon?
I don't know, but he did it.
Hit it very hard.
Anyway, we've got the first of 4 villages in this game. We'll be periodically visiting these in order to get items, quest updates, and various other plot triggers. For this one, we have to talk to the village elder and learn that a little fairy girl, or I don't know, sylvan girl, whatever you call it, I kind of lost track of this game's plot, ran off and got herself kidnapped somewhere, so we have to go find her. Fortunately, this doesn't actually pose much of a challenge for us, because, as you'll see in just a moment, the enemies in the stage we have to go to are rated level 0. So, given we're already level 2, this isn't really much of a challenge, and on that note, now would be a pretty good time for some donations.
All right, then. We've got a $25 donation from Delphinite. Good luck, Schtolteheim. You can do the thing.
I hope I can.
We also have a $10 donation from Ghost Kumo. Good luck, Schtolteheim. Carry on the Falcom legacy.
Yes.
I didn't put that in to get the Rue plush or anything. No. No, it's for a good cause. I mean,
Yeah, you're benefiting the National Alliance on Mental Illness, a grassroots organization formed in 1979 to combat mental health issues. That's what you did it for.
little A, little B. No, Nami's a very near and dear chair to me.
Yes.
I sound like I'm joking. I'm not actually joking. Yeah.
So we've completed the quest, and now we can immediately go back to Sylvan Woods to claim our MacGuffin reward. This FMV is unskippable. I don't know why they put it in.
Yeah, it's a way to load things, usually. That's actually usually how developers kind of hide loads, is behind periods of doing nothing.
True. Anyway, we get the water key, which is one of 4 key items that we can use to access other areas in the run.
Did
So,
it just say too spooky?
what?
I swear the menu just said where you went to. It said too spooky.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of flavor text everywhere in this game. Nowhere, fool.
Yeah, Xseed kind of just... Xseed decided to just go a little crazy on this one. Some people feel like they went a little too overboard, but it does kind of add to some of the charm of this game.
Well, I have a thing to say about that. They're wrong. But yeah, the game's head localizer, Tom Lipschultz, was a huge fan of the Zwei duology, so he took it upon himself to make the game as flavorful as possible in English, which is why I'm kind of sad that Tom didn't win the bid war for the cat name, but hey, you can't always get what you want.
I thought it was for Tom and Jerry.
I thought it was... no. This stage is a non-issue as well, because this is meant to be the first stage you go to, because the game doesn't expect you to just completely ignore common sense. But luckily for the run, I have no common sense. We've got some more switches to hit here. There's very light puzzle elements sprinkled throughout the run, but none of them are particularly taxing on the brain. Go through here, and we get a backpack extender, which will be nice for the times ahead. And we get another segment with everybody's favorite garbage NPCs. These guys were in Caiaphas earlier, but Kumo and I both completely ignored them because we were talking about more important things. But they're basically there to give you plot exposition and also give you a little flavor character development on their own. But that doesn't matter now. What matters now is Pavel 5, which is where we can get our first Jewel MacGuffin, and this is the only significant glitch we use in the run. If you step on this ice, you go sliding in whatever direction you stepped on it, but if you attack at the same time, you can cancel your momentum and go somewhere else. The game doesn't expect us to do that, so we get a smoked egg. And for reference on how good the smoked egg is, it is a enemy drop in the final level of the game.
Wow.
So we can pretty much break this area in half because we were level 2, now we're level 5.
Dang.
Now we can go here. There's a persimmon item, which isn't all that great, but it's still pretty nice. And now we're level 6.
So one of the things with this game, as I mentioned, was you can swap freely between these two characters. For the viewers, you want to go ahead and give a gist of what the difference really between Pipero and Puckle, or Ethan and Shelby, is.
Right, so Ethan is your physical damage dealer. He specializes in close-range, single-target melee. He can also absorb incoming magic shots with his weapon and dish them out back as magic of his own. Shelby, on the other hand, has infinite magic right off the bat, and I nearly hit my split button there.
We've all done it before.
Now that we have one of the magic jewel items, Shelby is now the best character in the game, and she will remain that way for the rest of the run. So get ready to hear a whole bunch of crit quotes. What makes Shelby so good is that she has a whole ton of versatility with what attacks she can use, whereas Puckle really only excels at single target damage. Meanwhile, Shelby over here just got water magic, and it is arguably the best magic in the game out of the 6 you eventually get. It has an incredible amount of hitboxes, and all of them are very slow and lingering, so you can use it to gain a whole bunch of combos stored, and with that output more damage. Then the combo itself counts as a hit, so you can get more combos and do more damage, and it feeds itself into this endless cycle. It also just completely mows through enemies even without chain attacks, so it's all in all the most useful magic in the game. Just picking up this food roulette here, which can give you a random type of food. I was hoping for it to give me cherries there, and thankfully the game obliged, because one of the things you can do in this game is if you gather 10 of the same type of food item, you can exchange it at a local bar in Puck for one food item that gives you more experience than the previous 10 combined. We don't use that all that much in the run, but when we can, it's a pretty nice bonus. Anyway, this is Colbert. I'm not entirely sure why he's named like that, but he's ugly and stupid, so he's automatically the antagonist. His main method of attempting to impede our progress against Masky McMaskface is summoning minions. Like this one, which happens to be the hardest boss in the game. Believe me on this one, please. See? This is really tough, man. What'd I tell you? Oh, thank you. I know, I was wiping the sweat off of my brow with that one. With that, we get the first of our 6 MacGuffins back in pretty decent time, I'd say. We should be claiming that 100,000 penny reward soon. Oh, I forgot to mention, that is the entire character motivation of these two. They are entirely driven by money on this. They don't even make it subtle. The local rich kid, Numa, offered a 100,000 penny reward for anybody who could retrieve the 6 MacGuffins. And for Pipiro, Shelby, that means clothes. And no one will deny Shelby her clothes. So, got myself a cuttlefish and a hot dog from trading in 10 items, so that's nice, as we head into the next level of the game, Mount St. Kenobi. Nobody likes this place. The main issue with this place is that the movement is incredibly awkward. As we mentioned before, the fastest movement in this game is diagonal against walls, but all the walls in this area are jagged. So there's no real efficient way to move through this place, because some walls will work well with hugging and some just won't. It sort of just boils down to memorization on what walls you can hug and which ones you can't. I'm going to take a quick detour to get myself a persimmon. It's always nice to get food items. That's the one thing you'll never see me do. You'll never see me deny food. Unless it's, I don't know, out of bounds or something. Thanks, Zwei boss.
Or pineapple on pizza.
Okay, that too. Like, I was kind of grasping at straws for exceptions there, but you filled it in perfectly fine. Oh, hey, chocolate. I'll never deny it. I'll never deny it. Do some more charge attacks on these people. Money isn't all that important yet, but eventually we're hoping to get a certain amount so that we can buy some useful accessories. There's a neat property about equipment in this game. All of your stats have individual levels themselves, separate from your character's level. Oh, hey, more cherries, thank you. So, as opposed to equipment increasing your stats by set amounts, they increase your stats by stat levels. And that means that every piece of equipment we get scales through the entire game. So, one of the interesting parts of improving the routing of this game has been figuring out what equipment we can get, what we can sell it for if we need it to. I'm going to make a safety save real quick. And how well the equipment we get scales into Endgame. Oh, right, NPCs. They were not important, so I completely forgot about them. The next area of Kenobi is awful. I don't like it. Because the enemies in here are resistant to water magic, as in it will do absolutely no damage. So we have to switch off of Shelby back onto Ethan and try to just exploit charge attacks. Hey, take a screenshot. So funny thing about that, I run this game on Steam, and wait, was that a Slice Bonita? Yes, it was. So, where was I? Right, Steam. One of the buttons that I press pretty often is F12, because I can access items on my hotbar with the function keys. The problem being that I never unbinded the F12 button off of taking a screenshot. So I'm going to be taking a whole lot of screenshots throughout the run, like right now.
Smile for the camera.
Yeah. This is a kill-all room, and a pretty nasty one at that. And my charge attack completely whiffed. Oh, hey, are you going to give me a chance? There we go. You have a depressingly small amount of iframes in this game, and if stuff like this happens where you get cornered, it is very easy to accidentally get yourself killed. So
it's kind of a Falcom staple. They don't like iframes.
Yeah, Falcom does not like iframes, which is sad because gamers like iframes, and why would you go against your own audience? That's no.
I don't know, people like the difficulty.
I don't know. Tell that to me after I've died from getting comboed to death, and maybe my opinion on that will change. Fortunately, we're through Kenobi 8 and onto the second fairy village of the game, the Salamander's Den. I'm not entirely sure how this thing holds its structure against a bed of lava, but whatever. So we're going to sell our power stones. I'm going to buy 2 bombs and 3 venture wings. I would buy more, but I have little money. So unfortunately, I can't right now. They did give me a quest, however. I have to entertain the fairy village's children somehow, because there is no entertainment in the Salamander's Den. Real quick. Nope, I don't have anything to trade in. So I just got to head over to my house. This is a sick pad for 2 14-year-old children. I wish I had a house like that. And we get ourselves a picture book. We can warp back to the Salamander's Den and complete the quest to get our next key. Right. Now that that is all well and done, we get the wind key. And we'll be making one last trip back to Caiaphas. This stage isn't all that eventful, so now would be a good time for a donation or two.
All right, we've got a $5 donation from Panda Kerpre and
Hey!
Chiho. Schtolti, it is I, definitely not Zwei's Monday. I came to remind you on something. I'm waiting. Also, good luck on the run. Make us proud.
Why would you do this to me, Panda?
We have a $250 donation from David K5. Thanks to all the runners, staff, volunteers, donors, and everyone else who contributed to this event to support such a great cause. Thanks for that generosity.
So you may notice me jittering around a little bit. That's because this level has the second best set of physics after ice physics, wind physics. Everybody loves those, right? And they have the effect of randomly changing my momentum in various directions. It's kind of obnoxious, especially when I need to get through doors, because sometimes I'll open the door and then the wind will just say, no, you didn't enter that. Alright. Got a kill-all room here, so I'm going to heal up real quick. There's really no good strategy for this room because you tend to get walloped no matter what you do, so I just tend to pick a direction and stick to it. Ow. Okay. Never actually had a bomb explode on me. Where's the last guy? Oh, it's that chimp thing. Okay, through that without much trouble. Puckleberries are pretty nice to get because though they don't give you a lot of experience, they do give you quite a bit of health. So I use those whenever I can as my general heals. And with that, we get our second magical jewel, the Wind Jewel.
So you say that you don't use they use them because they're healing, but they don't have low experience. Is there any particular points of like you're trying to level at a specific pace or like a specific point, or is it just like you just want levels as much as possible?
I just want levels as much as possible because this game's scaling is pretty mean. So I'm going to make a quick trip over to Dapney Desert and talk to this guy, Regenev. He is a slimy, slimy merchant, but he sells good stuff, including dynamite, which I need for the next couple of stages.
And because healing is both your experience and your and your healing, you kind of have to sparingly use it whenever like is safest to do so.
Yeah, so puckleberries are nice because I don't have to worry about conserving them for experience, and I can keep my more important food items at bay. Got a melon there, which is nice because it gives me 250 experience points and a screenshot. So now that I have that over with, we've entered Clop Caverns, which nobody likes this stage. It is, in my opinion and in Eagle Captain's opinion, the worst stage in the game because it's got a whole ton of stuff that can relentlessly destroy you without any sort of influence that you have in the matter. The first stage isn't too bad, aside from those doggos that tend to gang up on you, which is why I was pushing so hard for a cat to win the donation incentive. Thank you, chat. It's also got those mushrooms that you need to place in their whatever those are in order to open doors. They pretty much act as the statues of this area, which, hey, let's compound a cute skin on a bad mechanic. That helps.
I mean, that's kind of what this game does in a nutshell.
What are you talking about?
In some places.
What are you talking about? I'm not salty at all. Gonna do a quick safety save, because this next stage has killed me far more times than I care to admit. Oh hey, the garbage NPCs are back.
Nice.
This time they're not even courteous enough to drop us a Venture Wing, which is like the one thing I remember them for, so yeah. Although I find it kind of funny that one of them is named Tom. I have a feeling that Lipschultz was self-aware.
I mean, I think Seed actually is pretty good about localizing names, mostly appropriate to what they were in Japanese. So.
Yeah, there were some liberties taken with this game's localization, but, well, I mean, as far as names are concerned, as far as everything else is concerned, yes, there absolutely were liberties taken with this. But, yeah. So, entering Clop 10 now. I'm going to have to be pretty careful through this stage because there are a lot of enemies that can mercilessly kill me, like that armored lobster thing. I don't know what it is.
I kind of hope Captain's in chat posting lobsters.
Yes. If you have any sort of emojis that, well, emotes that are in any way reminiscent of lobsters, just do me a favor and spam them.
Yeah, Captain's a good guy. Also posts lobsters in my chat whenever I have to deal with really bad punch crabs in Salsetta. Because I guess they're both crustaceans, so they both do the same thing.
Oh, you'll be having some visitors from Salsetta Hell pretty shortly.
Oh no. Oh no.
You knew what you signed up for, Kumo.
I haven't actually played much of this game. I've played a decent chunk of Ilvard.
Oh, well, you can prepare to be enlightened.
As long as I'm not kneeling before you. That's a really recurring quote in the sequel. So much so that I actually turned off voice acting. And I don't normally turn off voice acting from Kira Buckland.
Yeah. If it's any consolation, the speedrun heavily abuses Ragna instead, so instead you get Flame On! Fortunately, there's decidedly less spam in this game as far as voices are concerned, aside from crit quotes. Almost through this stage, just have a couple of more things to blow up. And a bit more money to get. I'm hoping to have at least 4,900 penny by the end of this stage, and it's looking like I'll reach that handily. I was not trying to use a Venture Wing. Get off of me. Get off of me. Okay. That was kind of dicey, but we're here at the Gnome Protectorate, the next fairy village we need to visit. Immediately, we can visit the main blacksmith if it would stop running away from me, and we can get a battery. Then we can sell the Sage's Bangles that we just got and buy a Stone Ward. These are one of a set of accessories that prevent status effects, but more importantly than that, they boost your luck, which happens to be the most important stat in the game.
For once.
I know.
I swear, it's like garbage in almost every game.
I know, and it only happens with Falcom games, because I've been routing Legend of Heroes 1 as well. Well, not routing. And luck ends up being the most important stat in the game, too, by virtue of accessories. Well, not accessories, consumable items that give you plus 200 luck per fight. And that completely breaks the game in half. So I don't know what obsession Falcom has with luck, but hey, I won't complain. So we need to find the elder of the village a thing of wine for our quest, which, I mean, this is Utah. What decent alcohol is there here? And we need to talk to the mayor of the village who has a thing of wine stored somewhere for some reason. More importantly than that, though, this is where we find our pet. In a bit of a reverse scenario of little Timmy, the cat ended up falling down the well, and now we can go rescue it. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Tittle. What kind of name is that? You tell me.
I think a tittle is the name of the dot that's on top of the letter I.
Huh.
I don't know. It's probably something else. I think it's spelled differently, but whatever.
Oh.
That's my one guess.
The more you are made aware of. Anyway, the cat will follow us for the rest of the game, and I've set its AI to heal me periodically, and
Nice.
that actually comes in quite handy toward the end of the game. It also will scavenge for items around you if you don't pick them up yourself. So it costs 30 seconds to get the pet, and technically it's optional, but one, it more than makes up for the time cost with usefulness, and two, look at that thing. Why would I route it out? What sort of killjoy would I have to be? Anyway, to Kenobi midpoint we go, now that we've got the Earth Key, and now that the Elder's got his wine. Maybe he'll just leave us alone now. This is where Kenobi really starts to show its fangs, unfortunately, because Kenobi 12 is one of the most difficult stages in the game. I should probably safety save. So give me one quick second for a detour.
Suppose now would be a good time for donation.
Yeah.
We have an anonymous $10 donation. Glad to give to a great cause, but really wanted to say this guy's run commentary is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
And I definitely have to agree.
Thank you so much. That's honestly been the one thing I've been nervous about the most. Okay, so Kenobi 12. These enemies are awful. They fire off a whole bunch of magic projectiles at you, and they can bounce around the arena, making it difficult to hit them, which makes Ethan actually the better character for dealing with these. Fortunately, it doesn't last very long, as we're brought back to reality within the next stage. Entering the next area, we've got a quick switch to hit, and this might kill me, but I need this accessory, but it's guarded by Edward Scissorarms there, and he's going insane, so I need to stun him, get the thing, and then get right out. Okay. That segment of the run always makes me anxious. There are more enemies we need to kill here. I picked up a lollipop somewhere. Lollipops are worthless, so I'm just going to get that right out of my inventory. There's one more enemy to deal with, and I think that was it. Yep, there we go. I'm hoping we don't get the glitch here, but if it would be funny. Oh, yep. This sometimes happens when the cat scavenges for items that are kind of stuck inside other items. The cat just kind of breakdances for a while. So that's nice. Sometimes characters themselves will actually breakdance too, and sometimes they'll teleport through walls. I'm not entirely sure what sort of hopped up magic Zwei is on, but hey, as long as it works. Fortunately, we're almost through Kenobi 12, and now that it's wound down, we could probably fit in a couple more donations. Alright, with that, we've got just enough Venture Wings to get back to the midpoint, where we will finally take on the second boss of the game, like 4 levels after we were supposed to. That is the interesting thing about the non-linearity in Zwei. You can do a lot of things out of order. I was supposed to fight this boss before I even got to Clop Caverns and the Gnome Protectorate, but I can just waltz right into the Protectorate as soon as I have enough money to buy dynamite. So a lot of routing in this game was just figuring out there's stuff the game lets you do that I just assumed that you couldn't.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the Falcom way, except usually you use a lot more glitches to do that.
I mean, yes. This run is much, much less glitch heavy than most other Falcom runs.
Trails games are usually pretty non-glitchy, except for Get Over the Barrier in Zero.
Yeah.
That one's funny.
Never before has Get Over the Barrier meant such literal connotations.
I love that. So in Trails of Zero, there is a glitch in which you can get over doors, and there's a song in the soundtrack called Get Over the Barrier, so the Japanese RTA community just calls it Get Over the Barrier glitch.
Okay, one last food roulette in this area, and it's cherries. I was kind of hoping for curry rice, but that'll work too. Over to the altar, we get one more Venture Wing. I'm just gonna snarf down a bit of stuff, and we're ready to go on to the next fight, but not before I put some food in my inventory, because marathon safety. I don't trust myself with this game, and this game doesn't trust itself with me. So Colbert, Tiddle's uglier brother, is at it again, and this time he's summoning a chocobo. Okay. This would be a jerk bird, but it actually cooperates far more often than it doesn't, so I'm happy for its patronage. I would prefer it to keep doing this attack because it leaves it open. Okay, as soon as I say that, it stops. Fortunately, this fight isn't all that difficult. I just have to be mindful because once it gets down to about 1600 HP, it will attempt to run away from me. If I let it do that, it'll heal itself, so I have to charge attack to make sure it doesn't do that.
It was a good fight.
Yeah. Masky McMaskface here to taunt us again. That is a real tongue twister. But fortunately, he leaves us be for now, and we can get our second MacGuffin. Now that we have... yes, now is really the time. Sometimes that happens if I try to use a Venture Wing too early after acquiring a MacGuffin. Shelby just snidely comments that I shouldn't be doing that right now, even though I have nothing left to do there. Anyway, after we get our 2 MacGuffins of choice, we can go to the Rich Kid's estate, and we can report our progress. Hey, good Numa RNG. At which point he will give us the magnet. Similar to the push mittens, this is an item for questing around. I need to go to Pavel Midpoint now. And now that we have the fire gem, we can progress further in Pavel than we initially could. Just gotta use these magnets to get rid of these statues, which conveniently have magnet symbols on them. Dubious design, but alright. And we're on to Pavel 12. This stage is pretty uneventful as well, so this would be a good time to sneak some donations in if there are any.
All right, there certainly are. So we do have an anonymous $5 donation, which reads, "Please tell Schtolteheim that he is adorable. Thank you."
You might break this poor man.
Oh, I have already been broken by this game several times. I don't need any more breakage, thank you.
Along those lines, we have a $25 donation from Krillani Krill. "This run is break. This commentary is break. This event is break. Thanks, everyone."
That is convenient timing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Another kill room here, and this is probably the worst one in the game because all of these enemies are far spread out across this far too big room, and there are some enemies that spawn only after you defeat a certain portion of the previous ones. So I basically spend a minute wandering around this stage like an idiot trying to find the last 2 enemies. But hey, I'm used to wandering around like an idiot, so I'm not sure why I'm complaining. Sometimes you'll just see me running around in circles when I'm charging up a charge attack, and that's to make sure I get a crit. I never bothered to mention the metronome at the bottom right corner of the screen. If I attack when that metronome is in red, then that will guaranteed crit. And additionally, when I crit, I can juggle enemies or stun them for a period of time. So, crit charge attacks become my preferred method of dealing damage. Now that that's done, we are in Undine Land, and this is by far my favorite village of the game because it's actually kind of funny how this came to be. This was renovated as an amusement park by the village elder, but the problem is this is located in the middle of a dungeon protected by magnets and barriers, so how exactly would anyone get here? The elder realizes this because it's had absolutely no visitors. So what we have to do for our quest is we have to put an advertisement flyer in the bar in Puck so that we can maybe get some tourist generation up in this place. This place is also notable for this arcade cabinet here of minigames, one of which I might be able to show off later if I get far enough under estimate. Hint, hint, wink, wink. This is also where I buy all the Venture Wings that I need for the rest of the run. That should do it. Now I can head back to Puck and complete the quest. I can also trade in my 10 cherries for a hot dog.
So that's how that works.
Yeah, that's absolutely how it works. Like, I remember when I was doing routing and I thought that 10 smoked eggs translates to a golden egg because, you know, that would make sense. But turns out, no, it translates to something completely different, and I was just I had fell victim to a red herring this whole time. So that's nice. Speaking of inconveniences, those are the matching duds. They are there for no other purpose than to sell for money. Excuse me? Why are you hiding there? The NPCs don't seem to like me. Maybe it's because I insulted their amusement park. With that, we get the Earth Key, and I'm going to take that off of my inventory because it has no business being there. And I will now go back to the midpoint to access the altar. This stage is also pretty uneventful, so if there are any donations incoming, now would be a good time.
All right, we have a $25 donation from Anonymous. Makoto Shinkai loading screens? Thanks for the runners for playing the awesome Falcom games. We also have a $10 donation from Mint. This game looks totally adorable. Here's for the cause and the plush. $5 to Runner's Choice and $5 to Commentator's Choice.
And as a reminder, $10 is the amount for the prize pool. If you see this game actually didn't sell all that well, unfortunately. Just kind of coming out in a really awkward release period, and we actually didn't get it until like 16 years after it came out, so not a lot of publicity. But you can win this game, the one that I just ran a bit ago, then East 1, 2, Origin, and Trails in the Sky. Just a series of like kind of some of the staple Falcom games. So. Yeah, $10 is in for that. Some of these games are some of my personal favorites.
Right, so this stage introduces us to penguins, and these can really wreak havoc on you because they can freeze you and they can also emotionally scar you by badly localizing games. But fortunately, we don't have to deal with them all that much.
Come on, dude.
Look, I'm sorry, I'm salty and it's late. We initially got a freeze ward in earlier routes of the run so that dealing with them would be a bit easier, but we no longer have that because compared to this run at Falcom RTA Marathon, we cut out, I don't know, a good 75% of the stuff. Unfortunately, we couldn't cut out this stage because, in my opinion, it is the worst in the game. Eagle Captain will try to argue that that Kenobi 12 is worse, and I will tell you he's wrong. Starts off amazing with having to carry this mushroom through a whole bunch of spikes and a whole bunch of enemies, including ones that can jump around on you. The cat's breakdancing again, please stop that. It's very easy to die just by virtue of getting iframed to death. So I need to focus quite a bit here. Take another screenshot for the boys. There should be only 2 or so more of these spider enemies, and then I should be home free. Oh god, that one already spawned. I want to kill that one as soon as possible, because it can ruin my day. Nope. Oh, I didn't drink the milk. I got to drink my milk to grow up strong. Fortunately, that's through. We don't actually have to keep the mushroom there, which is strange because the same does not apply to every other mushroom in the game. Another thing of milk there, that gets us up to level, what level am I? I'm level 10, all right. I want to be level 11 by the time I get to the boss rush, so hopefully with the next batch of food items I can manage that. This room is obnoxious because it pits you in a room full of... Pits you in a room where you initially can't escape with a whole bunch of these enemies that will instantly do an attack on you, so I do not like that in the slightest. And then it has a whole bunch of spider enemies, because that's what we needed. The last enemy is ironically the easiest. I just have to walk away and then charge attack, and with that, we're through to the altar. But I'm not going to fight this boss just yet. Instead, I'm going to get these items. Really good food items here. Bone-in meat and tuna nigiri. And then I can go back to the midpoint to complete the last Clop stage. And thank God it's the last one, frankly. Do a safety save because I completely forgot to initially. And now that we have the Earth Key from Undine Land, we can access the legendary Earth Magic area.
You say that with like a tad of bit of sarcasm.
Oh, how could you tell? What possibly could have given you the inkling that this magic is not everything it's hyped to be? Like, seriously. Seriously, do you take me for a liar, Kumo?
I'll think about that. I'm sorry, I don't need to shoot you down.
Oh, no, I get it.
I've done like a little bit of that unintentionally.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh, no, you're fine. Unfortunately, though, I must warn you, this is the level with the bees.
I take back everything I just said.
They are not quite as annoying as the particular bee in Celceta, but they can still mess you up in a variety of ways. They can inflict paralysis upon you, and there is one floor in this game, well, one floor in this stage, that floods you with bees and just says, here, try to get through it without aggroing them. I dare you. We can go over here, take a screenshot, grab a... Yuck. Excuse me, that's a dorayaki, not a yakitori. I always get those two mixed up. Head down here. I need to unequip my magic and equip the push mittens. Excuse me. Let's just ignore the fact that I whiffed on that. Get that mushroom over there. Get it back over there. And now we're in what is hopefully the final area of this stage. Okay. So this is a really obnoxious part. I'm not supposed to aggro these guys, but it would be really cathartic, so do you want me to do it anyway?
Why not? Go
All
for
right,
it.
let's do this. This is for the PB's lost! And after we've had our fun with that, we can head over and complete the stage. Eat a dorayaki on the way.
Really liking the soundtrack of this game. It was very chill.
Yeah, the soundtrack is great. Right, where was I headed? I was headed to the Pavel altar.
I mean, it's kind of common in all Falcom games for them to focus on the soundtrack, but this one's got like a different vibe to it, I feel, than
Yeah.
a lot of the other ones.
It's got a certain contrast to the Celceta soundtrack. This is a lot more laid back and relaxed. Anyway, I need to get my hotbar ready. Yeah, that should do it. This boss is actually better fought with Ethan than Shelby, strangely enough, because this boss resists water magic, and since that's my main method of damage on Shelby, I have to resort to something else. Fire magic, I personally don't like it because its fire rate is just a little bit on the slow side for me, so I prefer to just melee it out with Ethan. I've also, I haven't actually managed to think up of a cheeky nickname for this thing, so if you want to suggest it in chat, go right ahead, because I do not have a creative mind.
Is that a fish chocobo?
I don't know what it is. Ethan is also nice for this fight because he can absorb the errant magic shots coming out of the boss. Don't ask me how, it just happens. Fortunately, this boss isn't too much of an issue now that I've gotten better at spamming charge attacks. This boss used to give us a whole lot of trouble because we used to try just duking it out with Shelby's wind magic. Oh, my bag is full. But anyway, that was a decent fight. And with that, we've got our third magical MacGuffin. Due to the way this route works, we are immediately going to go into the next boss fight, so I'm going to warp to the Klopp altar, complete with another unskippable FMV disguised as a load. And I need to switch to water, and put my curry rice back on because that heals a little more HP. Good to go. Make a safety save just in case, because I'm probably, in all likelihood, going to die here. This is the most inconsistent boss in the run, and it's about to be pretty apparent why.
Good luck.
I have no idea how Colbert got back here so quickly, but here we are. So anyway, this is Rock Lobster. He's a lobster made of rock. And he's got a strange manip that I am going to try to do, and he is immediately declining. So this is going off the rails. When he doesn't give me the manip I need, I just try to range him out with charged crit attacks and hope that he goes into the attack that I need him to do. Oop. This is also one of the reasons why I got the Stone Ward. Oh, can I do it from here? Yes, I can. So bosses can only face a certain number of angles, and due to the way your movement works in this game, you can angle yourself correctly so that the boss will just outright whiff some of its attacks, like this. This is the only boss where we can seriously exploit that because he has a long wind-up time on this ranged attack, but I'm going to try to do it with other bosses in the run. Unfortunately, this exposes a rather glaring problem in the run. The fastest fights are the most boring. But with that, we've completed the boss fight. Just going to eat some food. Whew. That's one of the more stressful parts of the run, because this run's mid-game is pretty brutal. Unfortunately, we couldn't stop Masky McMaskface from using the MacGuffins for something. I don't know, I kind of forgot. In the meantime, we have an unskippable FMV, so now would be a good time for some donations.
We have a $10 donation from Rebos. I love the Ease Memories of Salsetta and Zwei, the Arges adventure being spedrun. Please play Falcom games. Zwei AA is very flavorful and punny in Japanese as well. Shoutouts to Tom.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a rather interesting localization quote-unquote change with Ethan in this game. He was originally a punster in Japanese. Yes, now is the time. Yes, now is the time. Yes, now is the time. Oh, wait, Oh, I remember what I was supposed to do.
Oh, no. We've all been there, man. I like that sound effect right there.
I got a bit ahead of myself. I mean, it's not like the Questing for Glory run, at least, where I forgot an entire boss fight. I, at the very least, didn't make that mistake. Now, if it gives me is now really the time again, now I can legitimately be mad. Are you kidding me? I don't like this game.
This is a good game. This is a good game.
Good. So, we've opened up the next area of the game, but first we have to go back to Regenev, because he's got an accessory that we need. I'm going to sell off my wrists and my helmet. I'm hoping I don't need those wrists later. And I can get these Santa boots. Normally these don't do much, but they increase my luck by 4, which is incredibly useful for getting food drops later in the game. I'm also going to pick up the earmuffs from the general shop. These increase my luck and my magical defense. So they're generally nice to have for the area up ahead because, hoo boy. I love the next area in the game, but it is brutally difficult. It does, however, have, in my opinion, the best music in the game. Welcome to Appliest. Yeah, that's correct. At least one merciful part about this is that it gives you a whole bunch of food right off the bat. However, the main annoying gimmick here is that you have to use all of your elemental jewels to unlock elemental barriers. I never exchanged my cherries. I'm just going to eat them all now. Let me just do that. All right. Take another screenshot. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is legendary earth magic in action. It's so exceedingly useful. I mean, the thing about it, it's actually really good in concept because it shoots out a straight projectile and has a lingering AoE hitbox. The problem is the AoE hitbox deals like nothing in terms of damage. So when water magic has its slow lingering hitboxes, earth is pretty much inferior in every way. Fortunately, there are a lot of food items we can use here.
So about how often does HP level up? Because I notice you're leveling up and it's not always going up.
Yeah, your HP is actually pretty limited in this game. You start off with 30 and your max is, I believe, 120. So you have nowhere near as much HP as you usually do in action RPGs. Luck manipulation is working out nicely. I'm looking for apples, because if I save up at least 5 of those, then I can get 5 more off the boss of this area, and then exchange those in at the bar for a melon, which gives me a whole ton of XP. Getting the melon isn't necessarily pivotal to whether the run lives or dies, but it's very nice to have, because I would like to be a certain level by endgame, and that just makes it easier. Gonna do a bit more obstacle pushing. More enemies here. The enemies in here are quite dangerous because they can confuse you, and then there are some enemies that act like clerics and heal other enemies. So I need to be mindful of which enemies I'm targeting and also how much damage I'm taking. I am far under-leveled for this area, so most of the enemies in here can probably 3 or 4 shot me. Oh, I don't have a charge attack for that. Is this where it is? No, it's later up. Okay. Don't mind me, just making a quick mental note to myself. It has absolutely no ulterior motives, I assure you that. Another thing we need to get over here. Another melon. And we're getting close to level 14. I'd like to be level 15 by the end of this stage. And, excuse me, thank you. Once that's done and over with. Okay, yeah, what I'm thinking of is probably in the next stage. There is a thing I need to get in here if the gate would open. That's an annoying problem with collision detection in this game. Sometimes if you run against a wall, you'll sort of slide off as the game tries to prevent you from just bonking. So that can sometimes mean that gates that only open from one way become impossible to actually open once you've already triggered their sequence. More interactions with the garbage NPCs. They're doing their own sort of character arc where Tom is trying to... Oh, excuse me, that's the guy's name. Tom is trying to stake it out on his own as a treasure hunter, whereas his partner, Natalia, realizes that that is an exceedingly stupid idea and tries to chase him down to snap him out of it. This doesn't end well. So, gonna make a safety save real quick, because this next area has a significant chance of killing me. One detail I really love about this place is, as you can see on this magic carpet, it's showing Puck from above as the background. As you go further and further up the temple, that will zoom out to include the entire continent. And I don't know why I think that's such a nice touch, but it really, really works for me. So I'm just going to eat myself a quick thing of chicken. I have all of this trash food here. Ethan and Shelby now have stomach cramps.
Yeah, now they're big and strong.
Yeah. That's actually a funny thing they added into Zwei 2. They had a widget that shows your character's weight, and it increases with the food you eat.
Oh no. At the end, they're like 600 pounds and just like still look the same.
Yeah, and I think there's actually a treasure chest that only opens if your characters are 99 kilograms.
Dang.
I mean, it's a thing. Kind of surprised they got away with it, honestly. Right. So now all of Arges can be seen in the background amidst the clouds. Is this where the sign is? I think this is where the sign is. Yes, this is where the sign is. If there weren't evidence enough of this game's quirky localization. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
So these enemies are exceptionally nasty because they can confuse you, and confusion just makes you take more hits to attacks, and that's never good. More enemies here. Whoa. Kind of glad that whiffed. Another thing that often throws me off about this game, the blue statue represents the sun and the red the moon. I'm not entirely sure whether or not Falcom just did that to be unique or whether that actually has some sort of cultural connotation that I'm too dense to understand, but it sometimes trips me up when I'm in the middle of a run. Okay, this area. I gotta be really careful. There are 6 or 7 switches that I have to hit here, but I am constantly being bombarded by enemies in the process, and I can only use my base magic, because that's the only magic that these switches accept. Is that all of them? No, that's not. What did I just equip? I equipped the magnet. I'm not sure why. So usually I always end up desperately searching for the last one. There it is. Okay, through that without too much issue. I have this apple on my hotbar. I'm going to get it off. Almost through Appliest midpoint. Just some more enemies to deal with. Gotta be really careful that these enemies don't hit me, because I am... Oh good, I'm level 15 now. That's what I had been looking out for, so it's nice to have hit that. Pretty much from here on out is a non-issue, so if there are any donations incoming, now would be a good time.
We have a $10 donation from the Ice Burner. Linty the Cat wanted you to have this. There's also a $10 donation from Word of Gar 413. First time watching. RPGs have greatly influenced what I have played over the years. I am glad to be able to discover such a large amount of new games to play.
With that, we've acquired the Light Jewel, which is... It would be my favorite jewel in the game if you didn't get it so late, and unfortunately it's not all that useful here, so until we get to the next dungeon of the game, we're not going to be using it all that much. We are, however, going to be getting in more uses of the legendary earth magic, so...
Oh my.
I know. Oh, did you see that? That was so good. Man, that AoE dealt a whole 20 damage. Oh, I'm flabbergasted. I am beside myself. Okay. Thanks, Cat, for picking up all that money. Fortunately, we don't really have much of a use for money anymore. Oh, that enemy just opened the door for me, and it's a similar case to the one last time. I'm going to see if I can charge attack it. Yes, I can. We get a nice accessory here, the Champ's Gloves, which increase our attack by 1. Normally that wouldn't mean all that much, because just increasing attack by 1 in a game with static attack would be kind of pointless. But since this increases our attack by 1 stat level, that can scale up until the very final boss. So I'm happy to have that. There are also some more food items I can get here. Oh, no, I'm level 14. Oops. Whatever, I can just eat some filet mignon and then I'll eventually get it. There's another pretty good food item I can get somewhere down the line, so that should get me to level 15. Another apple. Those are always welcome.
Out of curiosity, about how much of this game would you say is like random as far as drops and items go?
Food drops are pretty random because you can't buy food anywhere, so you pretty much have to rely on food drops, especially if you're going for either a speed... Oh, oops. That doesn't matter too much in the end, though. I can just go back home, warp back to the midpoint. I didn't spend too much time in that level, so that's not too big of a time loss. I did lose my attack shoes, though, and I'm quite a bit more concerned about that. Okay. Worst comes to worst, if I can't find the attack shoes anywhere, then there is a chance that one of the vendors in the game will sell them back to me for a premium. The vendor outside Numa's mansion in Puck sort of acts like a catch-all in case you drop any of your key items, so that's actually pretty welcome. Where was I again? Yeah, I was there. At the very least, I don't have to go through all of those side areas again. Water magic is still way too good. Okay. Ooh. Okay, just gotta stand on this to activate it. Cat does a breakdance again. And that's what I was looking for. Milk. Just got another thing of switches to activate. One more use of the legendary earth magic. And we're just about done with Appliest, aside from the boss fight. Real quickly, I'm gonna warp back to Puck to sell off some of my excess stuff and see if I can get the attack shoes back. If I can't, it's not the end of the world, but it would be nice. Nope, I can't get it back. Oh well. I'll sell off the duds in the meantime, buy a couple more Venture Wings, and then warp back to the altar. At the very least, though, now that I don't have the attack shoes, I don't have to juggle between them and the Santa boots. Okay, so what am I looking like here? Sandwich, 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 and dorayaki. Okay, looks like I'm good. Odd. This is the other boss fight in the game that I use Ethan for, because this boss is immune to magic until you break his shield about 2/3 of the way through his health. So this fight becomes a sort of dance of sorts. I need to hit him, immediately run back, hit him and immediately run back. And let's see. And try to jape his attacks in the meantime. Should be breaking his shield any second now. There we go. Now I could use the charge attacks that I have saved up to hopefully wipe him right out.
That was a good fight.
Pretty all right. Did the Fandango a little sloppier than I would have hoped, but any fight that I don't die is a fight that I will take. Unfortunately, we still couldn't stop Masky McMaskface and his lackey Colbert.
Still can't get over that.
I know. I love how that's what Shelby actually calls her. Like, I don't even have to ad-lib any of that. Now would be another good time for donations, because we've got a pretty long cutscene ahead of us.
All right, we have one from Geister Carl for $10 with the comment, Zwei, Drei, Vier. Thanks for the great commentary. It could rhyme.
I don't know.
We have a $100 donation from Clammy Cupcakes.
Yo.
I saw this on Twitch and decided to stop by. Here's some money for that for those that need it most. Good luck on the runs.
At this point, we learn that Masky McMaskface is actually the fabled Crusader Parodies, who fought in a massive, all-consuming war 500 years ago. Ethan idolized... oh, I actually don't have any Venture Wings left. What I can do, though, is I can go back. Usually I never have to use this in the run, but I ran out of Venture Wings, so I kind of have to compromise here. I can give up, which immediately kills me.
Oh no.
So now I can just go right back home. I only lost the light jewel there, which is fine because I can buy it back. At least I should be able to buy it back. Yes. So I'm going to buy a couple more Venture Wings. Just wait, I had...
Oh no.
Let's just ignore that, please.
That did not just happen.
Nope. You saw absolutely nothing. Breaking news. Schtolteheim is blind.
Oh no.
So, we've got the penultimate dungeon to take care of now. I'm not entirely sure what an dungeon is, but hey, it's got to be something. And in we go to Espina Temple. Eagle Captain will try to convince you that this is the best theme in the game alongside Serpentina. No.
That's still pretty good.
It's still really good, though, as we enter the first area, Hell's Halls. Wait, I'm not going to get banned for that, am I?
No.
Oh, I also forgot to exchange my apples for a melon. I'll do that the next time I'm up at the surface. The main item we're looking for here is lemons, because they give us an incredible food item upon exchanging 10 that gives me something like 4,000 XP. This is also what I bought the extra dynamite for. This is the last thing in the game I need to use it on, aside from an optional food item in Serpentina, which I'm just not gonna get. Oh, I'm sorry, spoilers. Is that guy gonna drop a lemon? Yes, he is. I am thankful for that. I still have all of my jewels out on my hotbar because I am going to need to use all of them in another sort of catch-all scenario later in this dungeon, much to my chagrin. Take another screenshot.
I guess the sound of a gate opening is the sound of the Steam screenshot button.
Yeah. You just gave me a great mod idea. I still need to be careful here because these guys hurt, especially their lightning attacks. So if I'm not careful, I might potentially bite it. Oh, I'm supposed to be going that way. Okay. One thing that makes this game sort of difficult to run is that eventually the dungeon layouts kind of blend into themselves. So there's a lot of memorization work that goes into just trying to figure out where you are, especially in areas like these where every corridor looks the same. Fortunately, it's not too much of an issue thanks to the mini-map, but still, it's a little bit of an inconvenience.
Just led to believe you've gotten lost here at least once then.
Oh, undoubtedly. There are probably more runs where I have got lost than where I haven't. More enemies there. I'm just going to ignore them for now, because generally it's not worth it to fight them. Ooh, lemon. The main gimmick of Espina is these blackout segments, which usually you have to circumvent by hitting these candles. Unfortunately, they also come with the sister gimmick of those gravitational fields that pull you in at all times. So, navigating this stage is a little on the cumbersome side. Ooh. Gotta be a bit careful for that. There's a cluster of enemies here that tends to give me trouble, so I'm going to approach them at range. Oh, got myself a nice drop from them. And we're through Hell's Halls. I might as well do a quick safety save here, because I haven't in a while. And this is the last interaction we get with the garbage NPCs. Tom has gotten himself into a bit of a pickle because he also ran out of Venture Wings, despite the fact that he also probably had one too. And Natalia gets him out safely. And that's all she wrote. This stage kind of breaks tradition from the rest of them. It's not a 3-floor stage like most of the other stages in the game. It is only 1 floor, but it is massive. You have to use all 4 of the elemental jewels as well as the light jewel to light these 4 candles and open up the path to the end. Fortunately, we get a pretty good reward for doing so, and the formulaic nature of this game can probably clue you into what it is. Rest of the stage is pretty uneventful, so if there are any donations incoming, now would be a good time.
We do have a few donations. There's a $10 donation from Jimbo Dan. Thank you to everyone that helped make this marathon possible. And also a $25 donation from Cynthia. Thank you for your awesome fundraiser. Also, I'd like to go and remind you that we do have more bid wars incoming. There is a bid war for the next game, Breath of Fire 4, to name the main character to you. Currently, Beck is in the lead at $275.
All right.
What's the second place? 'Cause I know Bowie really wants Beck, and I kind of want to go against him just because.
The second place is
Wow.
the second place is Ruru at $245. So
Ooh,
a
that's
$30 difference.
In all seriousness, it's like he'll take either one. Beck has a kind of a cool story. Bowie will probably tell you at some point.
Like, no bully, man, though. No bully. Just one more switch to light, and we are through. I agree with Shelby's sentiments.
Is ow a sentiment?
I mean, it's something. It's more coherent than anything I've said over the past hour. So we get the Dark Jewel now. This only has 1 use in the run, but it is an incredibly relevant use. Wait, did I just warp to Apliest?
I don't think so.
Yes, I did. I should have known when it said too preachy. That's not a Spina. We don't need many more Venture Wings for the remainder of the run, so that's not too bad. We've only got 1 more stage of Espina anyway, and it's a pretty short one, fortunately. Because 2 of its 3 floors are completely skippable. Just go there. Ignore the gravity field there. And now we've got a bit of a mook rush. Alright. Through that without issue. We get some really good food items for our trouble in here, so I'm hoping that I can get to level 17 by the time this is all said and done. Okay, I should probably heal. Alright, got some nice squid noodles there. Eat that bone-in meat. Alright, now I'm level 16. I'm not sure whether I can get to level 17 from here. I'm hoping I can. It would be really, really bad if I couldn't. But I should be okay. I might just have to warp back to Puck and trade in my apples. And with that, we are through Espina. So how am I doing on food here? 3843. Yeah, I'd need to warp back to Puck. So, bit of a segue here. Alright, that should tide me over. Gonna buy a couple more Venture Wings because I ran out last time. And then just eat those, and there we go. Level 17 get. I really need every level I can get against this boss because it has the unfortunate distinction of being the most difficult in the game. So let me just see here. Magic on 3.
So this is the actual most difficult boss in the game?
Yes, this is the actual most difficult boss in the game. That's just about as good as I can get it. The problem with this boss is that it is incredibly difficult to hit due to its microscopic hitbox, and it also deals a whole ton of damage, including 2 attacks that can one-shot me. There is a manipulation I can do, but it is exceedingly inconsistent, and I only discovered it, like, yesterday. So, for now, I'm just going to try to avoid its attacks as best I can. Can I get any manipulation here? No, I can't. This attack is the one I really don't want because it can insta-kill me, and it's entirely luck-based. I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, he's already in second phase. That's the attack I don't want. All of these are the attacks I don't want. Oh, he's nearly dead. Okay.
Nice. First try.
That was actually pretty good. Any fight I live is a fight I'll take, and I will stand by that mantra until the end of time. Unfortunately, we are yet again too late. Wait, mask face, what do you... Hey, no. Stop, you're gonna trigger the plot flag, hey! Oh, Christ, what are you doing? Stop, no! Oh, God.
Anime. Real talk, these FMVs are gorgeous.
Now look what you did, you idiot. You wrong-warped Salmon Shrine in here. God. What are you even doing?
Did you have to reference it like that? So Salmon Shrine is a bad localization name of the worst dungeon of East 2.
I mean, the similarities are undeniable, honestly.
Oh, indeed.
But yeah, so turns out what Masky McMaskface was actually trying to do was he was trying to break the seal on that floating whatever mess called Serpentina that had been housing a sealed evil in a can for 500 years since the last world-ending war. He goes on this whole mantra about how I could not bear to see you despair so while holding the seal for so long, but in reality he just wants his waifu back. That's what he's doing it for. That's honestly it. He doesn't have to be so obtuse about his motivations, and also he doesn't have to leave her just sitting there.
Wow.
Like, how bad of a husbando are you?
What a rude guy.
I know! Like, what are you doing, man? You wait 500 years to unseal this maiden from a temple where she had been planning to stay for all eternity, and then you just leave her there? Boy. But enough of my rambling. We've completed our quest. We've obtained all of the 6 magical MacGuffins. So now we just need to go and place them. I'm hoping I didn't drop any. I shouldn't have dropped any. 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. 4, 5. And that's all of them. So now we can claim our righteous reward of 100,000 penny. It's actually faster to warp back to the entrance than to walk. Into Numa's mansion we go. And I am ready for my payday. I'm just going to let this play out, honestly. It's too funny, speedrunner otherwise. Reasonable.
Sure.
They're actually made of iron, but they're coated in genuine gold leaf. Peel it all off and melt it down, and it should add up to roughly 100,000 pennies worth.
What a guy.
I know.
Wow. Just put like 100,000 pennies in of work to get 100,000 pennies.
Only to die like a pig.
Oh no.
We do eventually get him to pay up, but we charge 10% interest every 10 days.
Wow.
Oh, God, I love this game. So, unfortunately, we didn't get any sort of reward for that, but hey, the maiden's woken up, so we can go do that, I guess. I don't know, blow off steam, save the world, whatever.
Yeah, that fame and recognition for saving the world is worth at least 150,000.
Oh, probably. Like, you could sell that. You could serialize it. Like, make a movie about the great exploits of Ethan and Shelby. Tickets 100,000 penny. So we've got this whole long spiel about how Serpentina is the land of the sealed evil in a can. Now would be a good time for some more donations, if they have arisen at all.
We have a $5 donation from Brahms. Loving all the speedruns today. Donation goes to Fataris on the Mike's choice. Your cat has been recognizing your voice and wants to know where you are.
I should have known Tittle was a spy.
We also have a $25 donation from Ace Burrito with no donation comment. Thank you so much for that donation. There's a $10 donation from Sir John Pond. Keep up the good work, everyone. Looking forward to Yoshi's Paper Mario run.
Right on.
Yeah, there are so many runs to look forward to in this marathon, honestly. I'm having a difficult time keeping track of them all. Alright.
You passed out again. What gives?
Well, I mean, to be fair, if you've been half asleep for 500 years, I'd imagine why your legs just suddenly would stop working. You gotta have some lenience on the, I don't know, shrine sealing maiden who just got left there by her boyfriend. Did I pick up the wind jewel? Yes, I did. Okay. So we're into Serpentina, and though I may think Appliest is the best soundtrack in the game, this is an incredibly close second. I love this place. So real quick, just gonna do those. That looks good. The main objective for me in this stage is to try to get as many reasonable food drops as possible, because I am woefully underleveled for this place. The game suggests that I hit level 26 for the final boss of this place. If I'm lucky, I'll get to it at 21. And since there are stat levels in this game for every individual stat, every level really matters a lot. Okay, those enemies are annoying. I try not to get hit by them because they can inflict every single status effect on you at the same time if you get hit by one of their specific attacks. And that guy just phased right through my magic attack. I call shenanigans. Take another screenshot. My screenshot folder last time I checked was something like 250 for this game.
Wow. Is that after deleting them?
I haven't deleted them yet.
Oh, no.
Along those lines, we have a great donation of $25 from Atlas Jackson. Is this an all photos run? Someone upload that screenshot folder.
All right. After the run, I'll check how many screenshots I have. I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhere in the 300s now with how much practice I've been doing. Ignore that enemy just dropping out of the sky. He's not important. Oh, it's this room. Those kobold-looking enemies can really take you by surprise, because they deal a whole bunch of damage, and they, for the most part, ignore the knockback effect of water magic. I have one more bomb here. I'm going to use it on this. I don't have any more dynamites, unfortunately, so there's one other optional item that I could have gotten, but c'est la vie. Oh, I can get to level 18 now. That'll make my journey a little bit easier. We got these enemies here, which are annoying because they resist all magic. So you either have to hit them with unjeweled Shelby or Pockle. Wait, no, excuse me, Ethan. Got some switch puzzles here. These are not anywhere near as difficult as they look, really. Oh. Kindly get away from me, please. And now we got doggos. We got doggos. We got doggos everywhere. Whole bunch of doggos. You ever thought there could be such a thing as too many doggos? Well, here you are. All right. This is the last use of the grappling hook. We're just going to get a thing of food over here. Hopefully not get frozen in the process. Some nice bone-in meat. Admittedly, that's one advantage that keyboard on this game does have over controller. It's pretty difficult to aim the grappling hook at the angles you need because the game expects you to be aiming straight 1.0 in any particular direction, and that makes that particular grappling location quite a bit difficult. Just got some more mobs to deal with. The more chicken I can find, the better. Nice food item over there. Hit this switch up here. I don't know why I'm narrating everything I do. I like to think that I'm a more flavorful commentator than that.
You're fine, dude.
Oh, there are two of them. Okay. Head down here, and we can get another thing of food. I'm hoping that I can at least get to 19 by the time this stage is over. Because typically, with the food drops I get in the final stage, I can get to 21 without too much issue. Especially considering I got the both the melon, excuse me, and the whatever the lemon trade-in thing was this time. You just saw the game pop out of focus for a second, and that's just an unfortunate problem with running this game that you'll have to get used to. Sometimes when the cursor follows your position on the screen, it can go off the game window. So that unfortunately means that if you use right-click to attack, then you'll just automatically unfocus the game window if you're too close to the edge of a screen. So to explain to tech, no, the audio didn't just cut out, I'm just dumb. Got some nice chicken there. I shouldn't pick up that backpack extender, so I'm not sure why I just did. Anyway, we've reached the relay point. Gonna do another safety save. You can never be too safe in Serpentina. What can I eat? That works. Generally, 19 in, 21 out for this stage is pretty achievable, but it all depends on how well my luck holds up with drops. The main two items I'm looking for are smoked eggs and strawberries. Got me some strawberries. Both of those give you pretty good experience, though I personally prefer smoked eggs as they also heal more health. At this point, though, I'll take anything. Even that lollipop that I just got for no particular reason. Ooh, these enemies, okay. These guys are annoying, but they drop good food, so usually I have to just suck it up and kill them anyway.
There are a lot of dangers in this dungeon you keep falling through.
Yeah, I don't really have a choice in the matter. Oop, sorry. Brushed the mic there. That's dangerous. Nice thing of milk there. And a whole bunch of mobs are about to spawn. Hello. Only a few more levels to go. Well, a few more floors, I should say. Alright, how am I doing on food? Getting close to 20. Gonna try to conserve some of my food because I do still need food for the final fight. Because if I could say that I could beat the final boss without food, I would be a complete and total liar. More muscat bunches, those are always nice. Kind of sucks how much money we get at this point because we really have no use for it. Oh, I shouldn't have gotten that. I was thinking of the wrong floor. Well, I gotta fight a whole bunch of enemies here. It's not too taxing, but it's still a little bit annoying. Oh well. At least it's a decent backup. I haven't really talked much about these gargoyle enemies, but they can be quite annoying because they can just turn themselves invincible whenever they want to, and also fire attacks at the same time. I would say they're having their cake and eating it too, but they drop strawberries instead. Alright. Got another Oni Samurai to take care of. Pardon me. And we're on to the final floor. This one really throws everything in the whole kitchen sink at us. You've got a whole bunch of puzzles, a whole bunch of balloons to break, and a whole ton of enemies. Okay, yeah, I should be able to get to level 21 at this rate. I just might need to go back to Puck to get some healing potions.
How crucial is level 21 for you?
It's not the end of the world if I don't get it, but it makes the fight both a lot faster and a lot more bearable. Because the difference in defense between 20 and 21 means the difference between getting one shot by a specific attack and not.
Dang.
Granted, said attack is usually pretty easy to avoid, but again, I don't trust myself with this game. So I will not take anything for granted here. Okay, that's through and done with. Last use of push mittens in this run. An F for that which we never do, and Shelby just moved through the earth. Okay. Another screenshot for good luck. Very important food item there, cannot miss that. And we got another Oni Samurai to take care of. Only 2 more enemies left before the final boss. And we're through Serpentina. Okay, how am I doing on food? Oh, I also picked up the Champ's Helm, which increases my attack even further. Ooh. Yeah, that'll work, but I'm gonna get some of the safety food items. Oh, I should also probably safety save. That would be a good idea. So Maskface tried to fight the whole sealed evil in a can thing on his own, but because of anti-hero plot conventions, he fails. So now the plot and the world fall into the hands of 2 14-year-old children and their cat. We're not going to do that just yet, though, because you can walk by this fence, and there's actually a secret area behind the final battle arena. I can get myself 2 filet mignons, and that should be just about all the food I need. So with that, now I'm ready to go into the final boss. Got a pretty lengthy cutscene, so if there are any donations to take care of, now would be a good time.
Righto. So we have a $10 donation from Osmodek. This crazy chibi game is wild. Keep up the great commentary.
Thank you.
We also have a $10 donation from JBuck1988. You're supposed to use the strawberries from the gargoyles to make strawberry shortcake.
Oh, God.
And Chummer Jim also donates $10. Going back to the movie deal, I think we should capitalize on Tittles launching an instructional breakdancing series.
I would pay for that.
Yeah. So anyway, for our final fight, we must foray into Final Fantasy V, because there's an evil tree that we need to defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats. We're going to fight Expedeth. Not without an obnoxious Phase 1 first, though. I would call this a standard Nintendo boss, but this is Falcom, so we gotta fight its hands. This is where Dark Magic has its main use. It has a lingering four-directional hitbox that you can use to hit both of the hands at the same time. There actually is a safe spot, sort of, in this arena at the very top left corner, and we used to abuse that back when we picked up this item called the Water Scroll, which healed our health on every hit. But now that we no longer have the Water Scroll, that spot isn't as useful, so this fight has, strangely enough, gotten tougher. That was a solid fight, though. Now we're on to phase 2, and this is... I wouldn't say it's the most difficult fight in the game, but it is absolutely the riskiest. If you die here, you can't go back home. Instead, you just go right to the title screen. So dying here would cost me a good 5 or 6 minutes. And unfortunately for me, the most difficult part of this fight is surviving the first 10 seconds. So here we go. We have unleashed the sealed evil in a can, and it looks like that. Fortunately, the Maiden and the anti-hero Mask Face have combined their powers to grant us one 11th hour superpower to save the day. With their powers combined, they are Jewel Planet. Wait, no, I'm sorry, they're the Rainbow Jewel. And that's the weapon we've got to use to take down this thing. Oop. Up and down. Oop. This is the attack I don't want him to do, because this can one-shot me. Okay, please don't do that. It's also incredibly slow, so there's that. Ooh. Just stay down there for the Saturn Breath, and then the Mercury Needles, I have no idea how to dodge those. I just flail around and hope for the best. Mars Fist, just juke out of the way at the last possible second. Okay. And time is not after this fight, by the way. But he's down.
Good job, dude. The Czech crew heard you say die. The timer went off for a second there.
Sorry.
Oh, that was good.
So
that's good. You're good.
So Vesper's down, but the cat Colbert still remains. I shouldn't display that.
Oh, they even have like the "nya" text on it.
Yeah. The problem is Colbert kind of borrowed his powers from Mask Face, so now that Mask Face is no longer in the whole edgy anti-hero phase, for the record, this is the one place where I would have accepted a cat pun.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, thank you, Alec. Thank you, Tech Desk. Oh, we got high spirits over here on the donation station, cracking more cat puns.
So we've just got to do a bit of a saunter over to the last area, and then that will be time.
I mean, come on, HS. Dragon Quest isn't until later in the marathon. Alrighty.
Okay. Just one more room, and time.
142.19.
That's pretty good for having a death in Apliest.
So I want to say your PB is like, what, 5 minutes off of this?
I actually PB'd in the practice run today.
Oh, nice.
I got a 138.
Nice.
But I wasn't recording it, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, this run's really come a long way in just a span of a few months.
Yeah, because when I first showed this off for Falcom RTA Marathon, and I'm still eternally thankful to you for gambling on me with that, the estimate was like 3.5 hours, and my run was a 3:09. So we've made a whole ton of progress with this game since first showing it off. Speaking of showing it off, there's a certain minigame that if I have enough time to do, I would like to unleash upon the world. I'll have to wait for approval on that one, though.
Should be like 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes. 10 if I manage not to die, which is incredibly unlikely. Oh, they gave me the okay.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, wait, no, they didn't.
We're okay to go. That was a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. That's the Yukihiro Jindo, who composed a lot of the Falcom music from like the 2000s, mid-early 2000s.
Yeah. He also composed most of the arranged tracks for the 2008 remake on PSP, the soundtrack for which is available in this version. You can toggle between it and the original release.
Nice.
It's also surprisingly easy to mod the music in this game.
It's kind of true of Falcom games in general. I actually have a super arranged version modded for East Origin. It's also one of the really cool things. If you like the Falcom JDK soundtracks, almost all of them are available on Spotify. So if you wanna listen to them like legally and still provide a bit of support to the devs, they're pretty much like this game. Like I want to say almost every Falcom major soundtrack in the last like 20 years is on Spotify.
Yeah. And you owe it to yourself to listen to them because the soundtracks are incredible. All right. Well, I've been told to get out of here, so
Wait,
Huh?
I thought we were demoing.
I just got the magic voice in my head that said last words.
Oh. So we're doing the thing or no? Okay. Oh, we're just doing a quick little demonstration of a little mini game in the game. It's pretty cool. Oh.
We could what? Oh, yeah, I'll just Alt F4.
Yeah. Okay. We're closing out the credits here, and we'll put this right back.
Hi, desktop.
All right. So this is a fun little mini game.
Yeah. I know this is kind of cheating because originally I wanted to make this an incentive and it didn't get accepted, but in my opinion, this is too good to not show off. So, in Undine Land, I mentioned earlier that there are these arcade cabinets that let you play various minigames, one of which is the typing of Ys, a typing simulator with an Ys aesthetic and exceeds localization. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to delve into complete and total typistry chaos. Any preference on the difficulty?
Just do easy. Let's make it quick.
All right. Whoa. This is what happens when I try to type after 2 hours.
And some of these are really hard because like they're case sensitive and punctuation sensitive.
Yeah, they're case sensitive, they're punctuation sensitive, they're everything sensitive. They are oversensitive.
Yeah, basically everything in here is a reference to a character or location name in East 1.
So every stage of 8 has an end boss that you have to face. In that case, that one doesn't attack back, but the others actually do. The phrases also get gradually more weird. Okay. So this is Velagunder. Some of you might recognize him from East 1 and 2. Or from... Never mind, I shouldn't say that.
And he's also from Origin. Welcome
Yeah.
to the Firestorm.
Okay. So with that done, I'm just gonna throw myself off the edge there.
I'm freaking cold.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Good job. Good
So-
job on the run.
So, thank you very much for having me here, and thank you for letting me show that off as impromptu and probably against the rules as it was.
You're fine.
Just before they boot me out of here, I want to give a quick shout out to Ghost Kumo for joining me on the couch. Shout out to Eagle Captain for helping me with the routing for this game, as well as providing a whole bunch of insight as far as running is concerned, and the whole Falcom RTA community for being so supportive of my nonsense to the very end. So, with that, I've got to bid you adieu. I believe next up is the Breath of Fire race between Zil El Magus and Bowie. So,
believe that one will be co-op, actually. They'll be just alternating off.
Will it? I thought it was a race. Wow.
It's a long race.
Huh.
Alrighty. That's going to be a good run. It's going to
Yeah.
carry through the night.
And with that, I will not exit to desktop because that would be weird. And that's pretty much all I've got to say. So thank you and have yourselves a good night.
One more round of applause for Schtolteheim and Zwei. With that, that brings us to the end of our Falcom block. Real quick, I do have a donation of $5 from Gunarm Dine. No puns, but Schtolteheim's description makes it sound like you're playing the wrong game, the game. And with that, that also brings my host shift to an end, and I will be passing it off to the pun master himself, Gunarm Dine, after a short Twitch ad.
All right, welcome back to RPG Limit Break 2019. We are sponsored by Twitch. I'm your host for the next run, Gunarm Dine. Call me Dine. And as we get set up, we have a bunch of donations that have been coming in. We have $100 from Andrew230 with no comment. Another $100 from Anonymous with no comment. A third set of $100 from Joe B, no comment. Another $100 from Kenneth, no comment. And $10 from Ed Slingshotter with no comment. Thank you all for those. We have $10 from Subi. What even is a Falcom? I'm not convinced this company exists. And $50 from Traditionology. RPG Limit Break is like a fever dream I never want to end. Thank you to all staff and runners and attendees for coming together and being beautiful people. And I would just like to remind everybody that we are here to support NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. There are 44.5 million people in the U.S. living with anxiety disorders and 16.6 million people living with major depression. Many are students, and nationwide 30% of students with a mental health condition age 14 and older drop out of school, the highest dropout rate of any disability group. NAMI helps support these people via their grassroots campaigns and their 3 pillars: education, support, awareness, and advocacy. And as we continue to set up, we still do have the donation incentive, the bid war for what to name Ryu for this upcoming run. Currently, Beck is winning with $275, $30 ahead of Ruru at $245, and third place is Ken at $75.99. There are about probably 4 or 5 more minutes left before we cut that off. That will be cut off at the beginning of the run, so there's still enough time to get it in. Okay, we have $5 from Detective Nikochu.
Billy, Pikachu, Pika, Pika Pikachu, Pika Pikachu, Pika Pika.
This donation is on behalf of the Pika cult. Dine knows who we are. Also, an excuse to make him talk like a Pikachu. He knows he wants to join us, and for making him do this, he can put this to whatever he wants. Well, thank you very much for the $5, Detective Nikochu. It all goes to charity. That's what it boils down to. And speaking of bid wars, we have the Elder Scrolls runs coming up after Breath of Fire. Those have some bid wars associated with them. For the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion file name, the current winner is Criminal Scum at $140, with Wes Johnson in second place for $5. For the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, the file name is currently set to Karl Marx at $89, and Baconator at $85 in second place, with Master Chief in third place with $50. And speaking of the Elder Scrolls, we are very close to meeting the Skyrim Glitch Showcase at $941 out of 1,000. So if anyone wants to help finish that up, we very much appreciate it. We are very close to the $42,000 mark, something we can easily finish within the first section of this upcoming run. Remember, we all count on you. Everything goes to NAMI. Every dollar makes a difference, and we thank you very much for your generous support. We have $31 from Floam Lawler, Bark the Beck Away, which puts Ruru ahead by $1. But we got a $20 donation from Numbskull. Donation instead of going towards Beck, full stop. So we have a last-second bid war going on between these two, with Beck currently ahead. You probably have less than a minute or two to get any further in before cutoff, so it's going to be a close one. After all, you got to remember to answer the beck and call, as Bowie wants. We have $100 from Ace Burrito. Shout out to my boy Phenomenon and all the other volunteers staying up late tonight. This might be selfishly to keep Baconator as Skyrim file name. Keep up the good work, everyone. And $10 from Courant. Good morning, Bowie & Co. I saw a smidge of your Gaia race earlier, but didn't have the chance to donate then, so here it is. Also, hi, Dine. Great seeing you host, and hopefully we'll see each other again soon in Tim's stream. Thank you very much, Courant, and we'll see you there. Well, good news for you guys. While we get our tech issues sorted out, we have $30 from Zetsumira and $25 from Anonymous with no comment, but they're towards the name incentive for you because that keeps going back and forth over the past couple minutes.